The second thing that we read about Joshua was that he was a man of war. He was a warrior. He was a warrior. In Exodus chapter 17, verses 8 to 13, we read something about Joshua that tells us that he was a man who was led by his ways, by his courageous ways. Exodus 17, 8 to 13. Now Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said to Joshua, choose us some men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. And that passage ends like this. I'm reading verse 13 in Joshua chapter 17. So Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Joshua defeated the people. So he was a man who dared to do things for God. Are you such a person? Has the Lord been telling you something? Has the Lord been asking you to do something for the glory of His name? And yet you have been shivering in your shoes, not knowing what to do and how to do it. If that is you, let me tell you, the kingdom of God is taken possession of by people who are courageous, who are bold. You know, if you are covered in the spiritual world, I'm not talking about being a courageous person in the secular world. Courage has several meanings in the secular world. I'm talking about being a courageous person in the spiritual world. What I mean by that is this: when you can't see a thing in front of you, when you do not know how God is going to fulfill His promises for you, you take that one step. You take that one step in faith, believing that the Lord will more than meet you half the way. And that is the kind of courage that I'm talking about. When I got into full-time ministry several years ago, I had to quit a very well-paying job. It was a lucrative job, very good pay, very good status you had in the society. But then the Lord was telling me to quit that and get into His job full-time, get into His work full-time. I gave Him several reasons, like Moses of the Old Testament. I told Him, Lord, what will my family do? How about my children? Who will bring up my children? How am I going to bring them up? How am I going to provide them good education? What will I do without a regular job, without a 9-to-5 job that puts money into my bank account month after month? The Lord told me, I am faithful. I am so faithful. My dear brother and sister, if you have decided to follow God, and if the Lord has been impressing upon you to do something, take that first step in courage. Take that first step in all boldness, and the Lord will honor your faith, will honor your commitment, and make sure that His name is glorified in your life. Joshua was such a warrior. He knew the Amalekites were very, very formidable people. They were very strong. They were too strong. They were too overpowering for the Israelites. But then he knew that it was the Lord who sent him into the battle. And He who sends you into the battle is sure to give you victory after victory if you keep trusting Him with all your life and with all your faith. Hallelujah.